Google the words tax amnesty or voluntary disclosure, and you'll be presented with a bevy of lawyers and accountants who promise to help you clean up your back taxes or unreported income with a cure-all solution called a voluntary disclosure, a VDP for short. They make a VDP sound simple and safe. All you have to do, they say, is file an application and presto, you're protected from prosecution and penalties. Problem fixed. Now you can sleep at night. It's a vanilla message that's bland enough to put you to sleep.
It's also dangerously oversimplified, because these lawyers and accountants themselves are of the opinion that a VDP is enough to settle your tax delinquency once and for all. Let's set the record straight about what a VDP is, and more important, is not. A VDP is an administrative process created by the CRA to save them the time and trouble of tracking down tax evaders. It works on an exchange of promises. You promise to file your outstanding tax returns or file amended returns, reporting the assets or income you've herethereto neglected to mention. The CRA promises to review all your information and then, if you are deemed worthy, accept your tax returns for assessment without penalty or interest. There is no promise of legal protection. There is no legally binding agreement. There is no legal commitment that evidence provided in your voluntary disclosure will not be used against you in the future. There is nothing legal about it. Is that something to help you sleep at night?
In 2006, when the CRA shifted the VDP program from the jurisdiction of the Appeals Division into enforcement, otherwise known as the tax police, as experienced tax litigation lawyers, we realized that a voluntary disclosure had suddenly become a trap for extracting incriminating information from unwary tax delinquents. That's when DioGuardi created our own unique concept of tax amnesty. In no time at all, the internet was filled with others who, without really knowing what we do, represented that they too could resolve your tax problems with a tax amnesty. They may call what they do a tax amnesty, but in reality it's a VDP with a fancier name. A review of the facts shows that not all tax amnesty is created equal.
DioGuardi Tax Amnesty is not simply a voluntary disclosure. It goes beyond an administrative application for safe passage with forgiveness of penalties and interest. It is instead a serious confession of behavior, which is subject to prosecution under the Income Tax Act, submitted under the safeguard of solicitor-client privilege. And it is presented as a legal defense and a request for full exoneration of your actions. By acknowledging the illegality of your actions and presenting your defense at the outset, DioGuardi is able to invoke your rights against self-incrimination and thus position you to move to exclude evidence revealed to the CRA should you be prosecuted in the future for your non-filing or non-reporting.
An accountant can do no more than file your tax returns under the VDP program, leaving you exposed and vulnerable. A lawyer who relies on the administrative approach of the VDP program exposes you to the same risk. DioGuardi Tax Amnesty offers serious legal protection. Remember, when you come forward under the provisions of the CRA's Voluntary Disclosure Program, there is no second chance.
You can't start with a simple VDP and then, if you run into trouble, bring it later to DioGuardi to fix it. By then, it's too late. Your best defense is to start with the tax lawyers who started tax amnesty in Canada. When experience counts, you know who to call and where to start, right here, right now.